Well, hello my lovely nestlings and welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you a bunch of looks with the newest Pro palette from Catrice called Blushing Oceans. This recently launched in Europe and when I saw it I snagged it and today I'm playing with it. If you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I am from the Netherlands, hence the accent. I'm also slightly orcish, relatively vintage. I love spooky stuff, makeup and being creative. Let me explain some things. The slightly orcish means I'm green. I'm a light to light medium warmish olive. The relatively vintage means I'm 46. I also have ADHD and I'm autistic, so I don't know, you get heaps. Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about this palette. This recently launched in Europe. I haven't seen it in stores yet where I live, but I got mine at Boozy Shop and I will link it down below. You get 14 eyeshadows, a combination of mattes and shimmers, kind of different finishes in here, and they kind of have done I don't want to say very much a duochrome, but the shade Pink Sand has an orangey shift in it. And I've not seen that in this format in Catrice. I have seen it with their marbled shades, but not in a regular shade. Yeah, I do have to say that I swatched it on top of an eyeshadow primer. And the reason for that is that I always use an eyeshadow primer on my eyes anyway. So why not then also see how the shadows will basically pack on top of an eye base. So that is what I did, just so you know. But in today's video you will get at least 2 looks, maybe 3 depending on how much time I have. Today is the first look. This is the first look that I created with the palette and I really like it. Timestamps for the different looks will be listed down below in the description box. The makeup that I use today will be listed down below as well. And you know, without kind of further ado, let's just jump into look number 1. Okay, I am going to start with the shade Cabana with kind of a fluffier brush because I want to see if it warps on me a lot. So I'm just going to tap that on. Okay, that is nice and pigmented. It picks it up very well. I do have some kick up in the pan. I don't mind that actually. And it also blends out very well. Now these types of kind of cooler toned browns that have a little bit of, well, basically this type of shade. It's not, is it a taupe? I don't think so. But taupes and mauves, they kind of tend to warp on me because of my green undertone. Okay, I also want this underneath my eye. And feeling the shadows, some of them feel a little bit dry. That's another reason that I am working the way that I'm working. Because if I have a shadow that's pretty pigmented and feels dry, I layer it up instead of basically pack it on and blend it out. It's just my preferred method. The next shade I'm going to go to is the shade called Palm. That one. Let's see how that one behaves. So I am just grabbing, what am I grabbing? Another kind of fluffier brush. Again, some kick up in the pan. So I'm tapping off my brush. I'm going to tilt my head down and I'm going to put that in the lower crease, or actually in the higher crease. Basically there where my brow bone kind of moves in to create some shadow. And it's a nice pigmented shadow. And it blends well into the first layer and still creates some nice depth. That is what I am wanting. Also going to put that on my outer corner and just fade it onto the lid a bit. I'm also going to put this in the outer corner of my lower lash line, or maybe even a little bit more in. Basically halfway in. I do create some fallout, I see, but that's okay. Actually pretty quick. Next I am going to go to the shade called Deep Dive, the darkest matte in the palette, and I really like the fact that they put such a dark shade in here. Again, picks up very well. I'm using synthetic brushes, just so you know. It's going to go in the outer corner. And this is basically one dip in the pan and then my brush is tapped off a little. So that is a nice amount of pigment. Let's deepen it up a little bit more. Let's see how much we can layer. And then I'm just turning my brush and kind of blending it over. Oh, that's nice. Nice. I'm going to go back to the first brush. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the first shade Cabana. Just blending it over. Oh, it's very, very quick and easy. That's what she said. Okay, I'm ready for the shimmers, and for shimmers I always use a shimmer primer. If I don't, shimmers tend to crease on me, and it doesn't matter what formula it is, but I'm going to grab my gel primer from Death and Candy Custom Creations. I'm going to do that on one eye, and on the other eye I'm going to spray my brush, but I will show you how I do that. So I grab a little bit of the gel primer on the back of my hand, and it is just a gel. You can see it, but I work my brush in, kind of like that, coat my brush, and then I tap it on my eye, on top of everything that I have. Then I dry my brush on a towel that I have here, before I go into the shimmer shade. And the shimmer I really want to use today is the shade Ocean, which is kind of a teal blue, and it matches my shirt. So we're going to do that. It picks up nicely on the brush. Wow. Okay. And I am just, taking my time a little bit and just tapping it onto the primer until that one is saturated. And I'm going to leave a little gap in the inner corner. I am going to go to the shade Palm, which was this one, and then I'm going to go to the darkest shade again, and I'm kind of going to blend that over in the crease a little bit. So first the shade Palm, I'm just going to blend it on the border of the shimmer and the matte. Then I'm kind of cleaning my brush, going to go into Deep Dive, which is the darkest shadow, and I'm going to blend that over the outer corner to get them to mix nicely. On the other side, I am going to use the same brush, but I'm cleaning my brush. I'm not going to use a shimmer primer. So I have a spray here. I'm just going to go in with a dry brush in the shade Ocean, which is the shimmer. I'm going to use it dry first to see what it does. Okay, so it deposits, but it's a little bit more sheer than with the shimmer primer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up my brush on both sides, because why not? And then I'm going to spray my brush. I'm going to kind of tap off, and then let's see what it does. That's better. But I have fallout. It's one of the reasons that I use a shimmer primer. And it works. But still, I feel that with the shimmer primer, it's just a little bit more intense. No, okay, now I spray my brush a little bit more and that works. Okay, for my inner corner, I am going to go to the shade Crystal. It's dry, and I'm just going to put that in the inner corner. Okay, that was dry. Let's spray the brush. See if that helps. It's not as intense as I would have liked it, but that is okay. I'm also going to put the blue shimmer primer on my lower lash line, finish it off with probably a dark teal eye pencil because I'm really feeling that, and then I'll be right back to show you the final look. I kind of Frankensteined my eye pencil. I used a dark blue and a green from V Cosmetics. I just layered them on top of each other. Falsies are from Baby Doll in the style 723 that you can get exclusively at Primark. But if you're in the USA or don't want to shop from Primark, which can happen, right? The Unearthly falsies in the style Dreamlike are very, very similar on the eye. On my lips, I have a lip liner from Curse Cosmetics in the shade Prey and a gloss from Lethal Cosmetics in this shade Nova. I think that it looks very, very cute. What I did do actually on the edge here is that darkest matte. I kind of smudged it over a little bit to make it flow a little bit nicer. The highlighter that I used today is also from this palette, and it is the shade Seashell, that one. So yeah, let me know down below what you think of this look. Do you like it? I very, very much do. And if you need a refill of your snack, of your drink, grab it now, because we're going to go to look number 2. Look number 2, and I'm going to go for at least the pink shimmer. I am going to start with the shade called Daydream, kind of a denser brush. I'm going to pack that on in the inner eye part area. I'm cleaning my brush and blend the edge. And let's also put this a little bit underneath. Then I'm going to go to the next shade, which is going to be the shade Beach Flirt. And that is going to go here, the outer eye part area. I'm just tapping it on. And kind of blend it forward into that lighter shade a little. Why not? I'm going to go next to the shade Cave. I'm going to really tilt my head down, and I'm kind of going to put that here in the crease. Doesn't give a lot of added darkness, but it does give a little bit of depth. Then I'm going to go to the shade Palm, and I'm going to use that in the outer corner. And blend it a little bit up in the crease. And then I'm going to go back to the first brush. I'm just blending it over everything. Okay, shall we just for funsies try the shade Pearl in the inner corner? See what it does. And the shade Pearl is the lightest matte in the palette. Yeah, I kind of thought so, but that's okay. Okay, so for me, that does not really show up, but it would be the perfect blending out shade. Okay, it's time for the shimmers, and I'm going to grab my glitter primer. Yesterday, or the previous look, I did one eye with, one eye without, and I forgot to show you, but there was no difference between the side that had the primer and the side that didn't have the primer. They both stayed on very, very well. I just want to use my shimmer primer. I'm drying the brush, and then I'm going to go to the shade Pink Sand, and I'm also going to go to this shimmer, which is called Bonfire, but I'm going to start with Pink Sand. It's pretty. The brush picks it up well. I do have to build it up a little bit, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. You see the shift that it has? I don't know if you can on camera, but it has an orange kind of peach shift, which I really, really like. Next, I'm going to go to the shade Bonfire with the other side of the brush, the one that I just showed you. It's going to go here in the outer corner to kind of merge the shimmer with the matte. That's cute. Okay, I am going to go back to the shade Palm with that smaller brush. I'm going to blend the edge, a little bit of the outer corner. For my bottom lid, I'm going to go to the shade Bonfire, which I have there, and I'm going to kind of run that all along the bottom lid. I'm going to use a little bit of shimmer primer though, so that it just sticks and stays a little bit better during the day. I am going to go to the shade Seashell that I also have as a highlighter. That's going to go in the inner corner. That is it so far. Let me finish everything off and I'll be right back. I finished off the look with an eye pencil from Glam shop. It's kind of a, I know it's a sparkly green. I also kind of put it in my inner corner a little bit, and to add a little bit more sparkle, because I like that, I grabbed a shade from the Vina called Gumballs, which really brings out that kind of greeniness a little bit, and I love that. On my lips is a Fresh Kiss lip cream from Colourpop in the shade Off to Paris, and then falsies are from Unearthly Cosmetics in the style Dreamlike. I really like how the look turned out. I really, really do. So let me give you my opinion on the palette. I could have played with it more, and I kind of want to, but I'm probably going to do that off camera. I just don't have the time to film another look here. I wear my looks the entire day. So another look that I think will be very, very pretty to do with this palette is just here a neutral one with a neutral on the neutral shimmer on the lid. You can then put the goldeny one in the inner corner if you want to, or if you want to have something extra fun, use this one, for instance, on the lower lash line, or maybe a little bit more in here as an extra pop of something extra. Let's go over the color story first. I think the color story is fun and nice. I think that you can kind of go top row, bottom row. I think they complement each other very, very well, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you with this palette as well, and I just wanted to play with it. Some of the shades are a little bit more, on me at least, pretty similar. So the shade that I started with today, which was the shade Daydream, in the pan it looks very, very light, but on me it kind of oxidizes a little bit. And then the shade, what's the shade that I use next? Beach Flirt, looks very dark compared to the first one in the pan, but on me, because the first one kind of oxidized a little bit, they pulled a little bit more together. Now between these two there is not a lot of depth, it's maybe 2 shades, and I know that there will be some people who are saying I wish that they put in another shade, and I understand that. I would have loved if they kind of had done a matte then like this, you know, kind of a tealy matte. On the other hand though, if you think about the difference in skin depth, for most people it's actually nice that they put in this one and this one, because if you're very light, you can use this one to darken up that one and then be done with it. However, if you are a little bit darker, maybe you want to start with this one, or you want to use this one and then blend it out with that one, or go a little bit more deep. So I actually like the fact that they kind of did some lighter but lighter midtones in here, then midtones, and then darker. I love that we have a dark shade here that we can darken it up with. This shade, for me, it lacks a little bit of punch to have it show up on my skin, but that has to do with the undertone. It's just the way that it is. Personally, for me, I wish that these two lighter ones had a little bit more sparkle in them for the inner corner, but that is personal preference. That's what I love. I love a sparkly inner corner, and if you do not, then these will probably work just fine for you. I think that performance-wise, the mattes work very, very well. I can get them through to pan. They build, they blend, and they stayed on all day. So I think that the performance of the mattes is very, very nice. Very good mattes in my opinion, at least, especially for this price. The shimmers are very nice as well. As I said, I wish that these had a little bit more punch to them, but that's personal preference. The other shimmers that I used are, I think, nice and sparkly. They're not extremely foiled like some indie shadows, but I'm not expecting that from Catrice at all. They do need to be built up a little bit more. So first application, they're a little bit sheer, but you can build them up very, very well. They stay on all day, and they're very, very nice and pretty, at least according to me. So overall, I am very, very happy that I purchased this palette. I think it is a very good quality. The palette for me retailed for around €10, and I think that is definitely worth it. Honestly, I have been using a lot of different formulas, from high-end to luxury to indie to drugstore, good drugstore, bad drugstore, and these palettes are just getting better and better. This is for you if you prefer kind of a similar formula to mine. And what do I mean by that? I mean a formula that still has pigmentation, but is more buildable and also blendable. That is the formula that I prefer, and these very much give me that. If you want extremely foiled shimmers, then this is not for you. If you want to have shimmers that still look very, very pretty, then this is for you. Let me know if you want to get this palette. As far as I know, it's right now only available in Europe. I don't know if this will be launched internationally. I hope so, because I don't know, we all should have the same stuff to play with, at least according to me. But that's neither here nor there. I think that is going to be it for today. Let me know if you are excited about this palette. Let me know if you've already got it. Did my video help? Let me know down below. And then that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I am going to wish you a fantastic day, a fabulous evening. May your foundation always match your neck, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.